How you doing, everybody? Abdul and John and Andre and Watch by Design. Curtis, okay, the practical pilot from San Diego. Watch by Design. Curtis, I used to fly out of San Diego, out of Palomar. So if you're a pilot, that's cool. Hi, Rick. Richard, how are you? Good. Dominic, hi, Dominic. Thomas and Andrew. Um, Boy, I tell you, we got Bruce. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Peter. Uh, Let me ask you, Bruce, while you and Thomas are waiting for everyone, are you guys having the punters this afternoon at 5 o'clock? Is that going to be going on? Hi, Rohit. Hi, Indrajit. Okay. All right. Uh, Bruce. Come on, you guys. Oh, the punter's on this afternoon at 5. Okay. Hey, Peter. Off and running. Okay. Um, Abdul. Hi, everyone. Guest not here yet, so I'll stay here until they come. What guest? Oh, at your place. Okay. Hey, invite them in. We'll have guests. Okay. Let me tell you what bunch of stuff going on. Hi, Stephen. The One of the things that we had talked about that something came up with that was sort of interesting is that those guys, I forgot the name of it. Hi, Koji. Hi, Pine Baron. Was this watch bunch of watch guys that sort of disappeared with people's money and so forth, and they're really going to have something cool. And they're coming back and so forth. And one of the things that one of the things that that I that somebody said, well, these guys say, oh, they're fine, they're doing great, and they said that I guess it was $2,000, and you got to be part of this special group of watch buyers, I guess, and you get these big discounts and all these good deals. And they said, well, we're going to raise it to $4,000. Now, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, if I had $2,000 and I just said, hey, send me my $2,000 back, uh, and then they're saying, well, we're going to raise it to 4,000, and you have the $2,000 one. And so if you want to back in, are you sure you want your money back? And I think, man, I tell you, if I were running a con, that's what I would do. I'm not saying this is a con. I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's sort of that kind of stuff going on I wanted to mention. Okay, so let's see what's happening. Hey, the ranchers here. All is well. Orange-tan, hi. Okay, so tired of the whole timepiece gentleman drama. Yeah, me too. Okay, so let's forget them. Now, something new here. On Saturday, some of you last Saturday, we talked about, well, let's get a new project going, and the basis of that was that recognizing, and the exact amounts may be off, but I've always sort of gone a 10-to-1 of manufacturing to retail price. And so if you produce a widget for $100, you sell it for 1,000, and that includes the manufacturing, was whatever it cost you to put everything together. And so this includes advertising, promotion, everything else that you have to do to sell a watch or any other thing, a widget. So the idea was, and we were talking about this last week in the noon group, was that, well, if we just sort of try to find, like we did before, to try to put things together, what we would do is basically pay 10% because we're taking contacting all the different parts, so to speak. and putting together a really good watch, a really high quality watch. And we started off using Philippe Dufour's Simplicity as sort of the kind of thing you have really good quality in different kinds of places. And so that's what we had been talking about. And a bunch of people in the afternoon group, they said, "Wow, it's like a good idea. Let's go ahead and do it." And which was cranking up again. So we thought, well, listen, why don't we do this? We'll get an Agenor movement. We'll get the Voutilanen and Kalin case, and then we'll get a Medallium dial for it. Now, where did Medallium come from? Well, um, let me show you. I'm putting some stuff together here. I don't know how well you can see this. This is the bottom of one of Dufour's Simplicity watches. And right here, it says Medallium, okay, Metalem. And that's the name of a dial company that made the dial. And Dufour just said, go ahead, put your name on it. What do I care? It was like, Now, my own sense of any kind of watch, if you put together a really good watch, you want not only for yourself, but others say, "Hey, is that a good watch?" Say, "Well, look, you turn it over and there it says AGH something. AGH is the Agenor sort of marker for the name of their any kind of movement or any other thing that they put in a watch." And then you look at the back, and it's a Voutilanen and Kalin case. And then you look at the front, and down at the bottom it says Medallium. And I checked out Medallium, and they are they're really, really good for a movement maker. Okay, I'm not a movement maker, but a dial maker. I'm assuming they'll make hands or as well. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is sort of some ideas. Now let me give you some context of this. After the Saturday afternoon group talked about it, I started sending messages to Viderek at Agenor, Nicholas Viderek, and didn't hear back from him and so forth. So I thought, well, I'll give him a call. Well, we had ended up with a really long talk. Apparently, he had hurt his back or something and wasn't feeling up to snuff. And but after we got talking, he got really excited about this project again. And so it's looking good. I said, last time I think it was up to $7,500 for one movement. And I told him that was like just way too much. And I said, we were thinking of something in the neighborhood of between $4,500 per movement. And that's something even I could guarantee that for 10. If, worst came to worst, I just buy them myself. Heck with everybody else. So the thing that came up, like I said, we were using the Simplicity, and one of the Simplicities had the subdials over at between 7 and 8 o'clock over here, and this is upside down, but so does my FP Journe Chronomet Souverain, and I think also the Chrononet Blues and a lot of other ones do too. And so I thought, okay, well that would be sort of cool. Having it right at 9 o'clock, that's okay. So I asked him, I said, well, how about it having it at 6 o'clock? And what he told me, he said, well, anything's possible, but he said that's not going to be too easy, because if you wanted a base movement that's really off the shelf, and this is so that we can save money on the thing, but yet get a top-notch one, you're going to have to, we're going to probably have it over toward 9 o'clock. And I thought, wow, why not 8 o'clock, like Dufour has on his and FP Journe has on his. And so we talked about the size, and some people wanted smaller, some people wanted larger, and we decided on 39 millimeters. So let me start with that question for you guys. How does 39 millimeters sound for it so that we can have some of the guys who like the smaller ones, and then some of the guys who like the larger ones. To me, 39 is in one of my sweet spot, sort of between 38 and 41. And so that would be fine with me, but I'm not everybody. So I thought I'd throw that out there. What do you guys think? Let's see. Okay. Will the case be serial numbered? I don't know, Dominic. That's a good question. We could do that if we want. I mean, the thing of it is that we could do anything we want because we're going to make it ourselves. I think that's again, like when we started last time, we got to a point, and it was the pandemic was just, it made it impossible. Hey, Watch Habit, how you doing? Okay, 39 is good. Great. You guys like 39. 39 Interjet, good. Roger. Okay, good. Coy, how thin is the movement? We'll get to that. Okay, so 39 is okay with you guys too. Hi, Jensen. Hey, FG, thank you. Greg, hi, Greg. 39 is good. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, that was what the guys in the afternoon thought too. It's sort of like, it's not too big and it's not too small. It's sort of like the little red, Goldilocks thing. It's just right. Okay. Pandemic, what pandemic? Okay, Rancher. All right. Okay, good. We're on that. Okay, so that was one thing. So this is sort of what we're thinking. And now this and this would be, if we can add it, because a lot of the things that are going to determine this will be based on what the base movement is, what the Agenor base movement is. Now, this right here is, this has Roman numerals and this has Arabic numbers. And to me, I'll go either way. There's certain things I like about both of them. Generally, I don't like Roman numerals, except when I do. And when I do, it's usually the watch that says, okay, now this watch really looks good with Roman numerals. Same with the hands. Last time, I think we thought that Breguet hands with the little poems on the end would be a nice thing to have. I still like that, but I'm open to anything that anybody else has in mind. So let's just, hi, Big Sal. Matthew, hi, Matthew, how are you? David, Nelson, how are you? Okay, Roger, okay, so let's talk about that. Hi, Richard. So we can talk about Roman or Arabic numbers. Watch, see, 39, okay, good. I have a PF Tonda 1950-39, great. Okay, I don't like Roman numerals. Okay, Rick. California dial. Thomas A. I like California dials, but only for certain things. It's also great if you can't make up your mind, what do I want? Okay. Yeah, I generally prefer Arabic numbers, but like I said, in some designs, Roman numerals really work. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, man? Okay, so let's see what your Breguet hands, definitely a plus. All right. Rick, Arabic are stick indicators. Yeah, that's the stick indicators are another way to go too. Stick indicators, I think, push it over to a little more of the formal, but that's okay. I don't know. This, for some reason, even though I like Arabic numbers, this design I'm not crazy about. I don't know why. I just can't tell. I think the proportions may be a little off with the size of the dial and the numbers and so forth. And looking at this, this was something I liked a lot. Also, too, I have noticed how these clip the subdial clips the numbers here. This is actually down at 6 o'clock, but these get clipped, and I love it. I don't know why I like clip numbers. It looks like Okay, we're going to put the dial here and the dial here, and you guys can figure out the numbers if they got clipped. So that doesn't bother me. I know some people it drives up the wall, but this is not a watch for obsessive compulsive. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Watch by. There's been some bargains on those lately. Nice pickup. Okay. Raj, no California dials. Andrew, likewise, with a few exceptions, I prefer Arabic. All right, all right. Dominic, tuxedo dial. I'm not sure what a tuxedo dial is, Dom. I'd like to look at it. For this design, Roman numerals might be lovely. Yeah, they might be. Lugs. Lugs. Let's talk about lugs for a second. Um, so that is what we had last time. We had these teardrop lugs, and so what I did, I just got a watch with teardrop lugs and dropped in this is sort of discussion. Now, there was another thing that everybody wanted to do, and I'm all for this too, is do this in modules. Um, get the first module, and that'll be the movement, and we get that all paid for, and then we go to the next thing, which will be the case. Get that all paid for, then go to the final step, which would be the dial and the hands. Get that all paid for. And so this way, there's not going to be a whole bite. Oh, that was another thing. We wanted to have the maximum price of it. Now, this is the manufactured price. The price that we pay will be $7,500. Now, I know that's a lot to some people. That's like too much, and that's there may be another way to do it, but I can't think of it. So that's something else that you might want to think about. Like maybe you get the movement and say, hey, I'm going to go. I know where I can get a lot better deal on cases and dials, and so you guys don't worry about that. I'll just take my movement and put my own thing together, and that's fine too. And that I think is for doing it in a modular, or somebody's wife catches them, something like that. Why you? Okay. Uh, okay. Hey, Tarek. Urdu numerals on a tuck. I have no idea what that is, but sounds interesting. Okay, teardrop. You like the teardrop? Okay. Like West End Watch do. Like West End Watch. Okay. Matthew, let's see. Arabics for even numbers and stick markers for odd numbers. Simple but elegant hands. Okay, that's an idea. Dress for Felix 2 movement. Okay. How many pieces are you thinking? Okay. Rick, I guaranteed them 10. But what they told me, I mean, that would be like a bare minimum. And when I say guarantee, I mean if we don't have 10 people, I get stuck with a bill, but that's okay because they're really. I mean, there's more to this yet to come. How we doing on time? I better tell you the rest of the story. Okay. All right. Now, last time I don't know if we ever got to the actual base movement, but this time we have. This is called the AGH 6911. And it has most of everything that, at least the other group we had talked about. We wanted 2.5 hertz or 3 hertz. This one is 3 hertz. We wanted hand wound. This is hand wound. And so this would be the base. And it's funny, I looked up the watches that this had been used on, and one was about 22,000 and the other one was 255,000. So they got the one with 255,000 had a lot of jewels on it. But it's a beautiful movement, I think, and it's very plain. I wish there were. I like more. Oh, let's say thumb bridge or finger bridges and some other stuff, so you can see more of the movement. But getting a movement of this quality. By the way, this is where the where the crown is. The crown and stem goes here to the winding gear. And so in terms of where I'm thinking about the subdial, let me see where that would go. It would have to go somewhere here. I had asked him about, I said, how about one at 6 o'clock, a subdial? And he said, given this design, because 6 o'clock is all in this business down here. And by the way, too, this is only hour and minute. It does not has a second hand, a subdial. But so many people said, look, we got to have a subdial. We got to have a second hand. If for nothing else, you pick up your watch, and if the second hand's moving, you know what's wound up. So that was the whole. And and also too, the Simplicity had second hands. Okay, so we're going to be like them. The other thing I asked about was center seconds, and I like center seconds. He said that would jack up the price a lot and make the watch thicker. One of the reasons they use the subdials, small seconds, is to keep the watch thinner. If they stack it up with the second on top, it's more expensive, and the gearing is much more complex. I found out. I didn't know that. So anyway, so here's what they would do. And after talking to Nicholas for a while, he said, what we're talking about is you guys are going to have a bespoke movement. I thought, holy smoke, that we're going to have, I mean, this will be one that's unique. And so anyway, so this is sort of where we are right now. And what he said, look, this is what I'm going to need from you guys. Basically, how we want it, and then they can give us a range, which would be based on how many people want it. And so, to me, ending up with a watch with a bespoke movement, with whatever case we want by Voutilanen and Kalin, and then a what is it called? A metalim dial. Oh, by the way, too, the dial, I was reading about the dial in an article, I think it was in Pen and Quill, I'm not sure, it's one of those. And before, we had wanted a, what are they called? An enamel movement. Not an enamel movement, but an enamel dial. And the problem with the way an enamel dial can get very expensive very quickly is because they have to burn so many. Okay, so you end up with somebody, okay, out of these 10 we can use one, and I've seen that before. And of course I'd be willing to use one of the burned ones, but that's another story. So I was looking at how they do the enamel, and it's really incredible. I mean, the enamel is really beautiful. It's sort of having a white or creamy colored enamel dial. That was another thing that we had talked about. Okay, we don't have a lot of time left, so let me see what you guys are saying on that. 3 Hertz, yeah. Hi, Hyder, Raja. I love the Gronfelds did with their cases. Those deep bevels that follow the dial. Yeah, those are okay. Let's see. Hi, Forfeit for Oh, Corn de Vache lugs. I'm pretty sure that this is what this has on this is the kind of is the kind of case this one has. And the good thing about this is that they're supposed to be more comfortable. I like both of them. The one that I got on my recent purchase of an Urban Jorgensen, they had the what did you call them? The horns of the cow. Okay. Have you thought about going into crown design? Oh, we haven't talked about that. For crown design, what are those nice fat ones called? They look like what are they called? I forgot, a sort of a cushion shaped one. This one is flat as a pancake. I forgot what the name of the crown was, but they have these nice look like a sort of a turban almost. Really cool. Hi, Andre. Um, oh yeah, exhibition case back. Definitely, that was one thing that we wanted. I wish there was. You know, I wish this had. You know, like it would reveal more of the movement. Um, but you know, again, we keep, we're, we're getting a lot that these guys, you know, you take a it, it, if it costs $7,500 to produce, and they do it by multiply that by 10, you're talking about a $75,000 watch. Now, like I said, maybe I'm wrong about those numbers. Those are the ones they used in publishing, but you know. Okay, not to throw a wrench in, how about replace sub-seconds with power reserve indicator? Uh, that's a possibility. You know, or do this, have both. All of these things, Dom, will jack up the price. That was one of the first things we wanted to do. We are getting a bespoke movement, and it's hand wound and it's 3 hertz, but really a lot of stuff that we wanted. I could ask. I said, "Hey, you know, how about a power reserve indicator? That'd be cool. Are you taking names of those interested?" Pine Barren. Here's what I'm going to do. I wanted to find out first of all if there was I had talked to the afternoon group, and they were pretty interested. And what I'll do is that I'm going to put together what we did last time. I'm going to put together a Facebook page, and the Facebook page will be just for people who want in on this. And I don't want to say in on this. I mean, who want to do it with us. I'm so disturbed, I'll put it this way, by the so-called time piece gentleman. You know, that kind of stuff is really bothers me. So I didn't want to say, you know, oh, we got a deal here going. But this is more of something I thought would be sort of fun to do. Well, gee whiz, it's been about a year and a half now. 13 of us had this watch from Rolf Lang, and we all kept it for a month. We passed that around, and that worked out great. And at the end, somebody, I guess, saw it and wanted it and then bought it from Rolf. So it's sort of that spirit is sort of like doing something we can do as a group, get something that we'd all like and something that we can afford. Hey, Richard, enamel dial would make it special, but may hike up the price. Yeah, Richard, I agree. I love enamel dials and the whole idea, but you're right about jacking up the price. But the lacquer that was used by I don't know. I think if you can fish around, you can find it. The lacquer that was used here was as good as any enamel I've seen. So the quality of it is so good. By the way, take a look at. They have almost a minimal website, but the Metalim, you know, they got a bunch of people working and they're putting numbers and every kinds of things on a dial and so forth. And if you want to go take a look at them, it'll give you an idea of the quality of work they do. Okay, let's see. Onion. That was what. What are they called? Onion domes? Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, that's exactly Dom and Clyde. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Onion dome. I don't know if you like that or not. I mean, this is one of the things you can have any kind we want, and that's what the fun part is. I think that the movement of small seconds is more attractive than a static power reserve, although that's very functional and useful. Uh, there's Thomas B and Thomas A. The multiply by 10 does not work at a certain price point anymore. Probably doesn't, Thomas. But you know, they're pouring in, when you pour in a lot of advertising, promotion, and you're spending a fortune on those stupid boxes. Um, you'd be surprised how quickly it jacks up. We'll contact you. Keep it simple. The price point would make it more affordable for more. Yeah, that's sort of the idea behind it, Richard. Um, Dominic, yeah, I hate to do that. I mean, if some people don't want to join Facebook. There's this guy today. He's saying, "Well, I don't have a YouTube account." I said, and this is on Facebook. And I said, what? How come you don't have a YouTube account? Because I wanted him to get into the conversation. He said, I don't want to be on social media. I said, you're on Facebook. You're all, I don't know. So I understand, Dom, if you don't want to be on Facebook, call yourself, give yourself some phony baloney name that nobody knows who you are. Let's get good and lacquered up. That's a good idea. Okay, Richard, neither you. Patrick, bespoke movement is nice, but what about the serviceability? Good question. Boy. When you look at this movement, you're dealing with a fairly simple movement. About the only thing that we'd need would be a source of replacement parts. I would rather do that than send it back to Agenor every time something goes wrong with it. That makes just a lot more sense. There's an Agenor movement in my time here and time elsewhere. So there's that. Okay. Hi, William. Any tritium type illumination on a dial? I don't think so. I say that because when you look at all of the really top watches, William, you've got take the length with Breguet hands. You don't have that except on sort of the tool watches and stuff. I guess if you really want it, though, I would we can take a look at that. Not missing too much on FB. Yeah. Erythicus. Okay. Hey, Crappy. Tony, how are you? Okay, doke, guys. Well, listen. Plan to submit to GPHG. Wouldn't that be cool? If we had this thing, we could submit it to the Petite Aiguille category. Maybe that would be neat. We'll have that. Yeah. Okay, it's frying pan time. Time to go. Just out of interest, how about asking Gilbert in Iceland if he could do something for Dibu with Soprod movement he uses? I don't know if he still uses Soprod. Soprod, I love Soprod. This is a Soprod movement on a project that the case didn't fit, and so I've got to get a new case for it. But the Soprod movement is really nice, but it's just not in the same class as this. Basically, a Soprod is based on a Seiko design, and so that was it's a nice one, but this is beyond nice. I mean, Jean-Marc Viderec was the first watchmaker to win Watchmaker of the Year for the Grand Prix. I mean, it's a big deal. I think Philippe Dufour did, and some other. I mean, this huge honor. And so we're talking about, and then if you take a look at the watches that Agenor has made the movements for, they're incredible. Okay, all right, guys. Well, listen, gotta go. Clyde, I'll get right to you. And hey, we're going to be talking about this again at 4:00 New York time today. We're going to have our second streaming video. So if you get some ideas between now and then, we'll see you then. Take care and be safe.